Welcome to a 1 hour 5 versus 5 friendly war between Golden X and Qlash. You are going to see every attack by the players, single attack format. Let's get into it. The first attack is in, and it is Dave Won't Rage. We were talking about the ground meta and how it was going to be getting nerfed. Now this is recorded prior to any balance changes that are coming to the ground defenses. So we get a little bit of a glimpse here as to the Yetis and just why we have the tiny little tweaks coming. Starting with the Grand Warden Walk. Manages to take out a balloon early on, or a Sam with the balloon, and that will protect a healer. Grand Warden has pretty good pathing here towards the multi-inferno, something you always want to have, and a rage spell does come down. This is interesting. Will we see a couple of other balloons coming in to test the Sam? There we go. Just to test for the Sam, that is a black air bomb. If you can take that down, it is definitely going to be helpful, only using 5 troop capacity instead of losing 14 with a healer. Here come the Yetis, but the ballers start to walk as they are drawn to the skeletons, and now they have gone. This is a nightmare for Dave Won't Rage. He will be able to take down an air defense, which could protect the healers instead of having them sideswiped, so this might work out okay for him moving through the raid. We've got goblins in the clan castle, believe it or not. Queen coming forward. Yetis moving into this compartment as well. Town hall goes down out of the way of the Yetis, so this is looking good. The next jump spell has to provide access to the scatter shot. There it is, but with a second scatter shot on the back end of the base, Dave Won't Rage might struggle for the 3-star. The Hog Riders and the Royal Champion have to be the savior here. Healer's still alive though. Scattershot goes down and the Yetis continue to power through the base. Can he get this one done? The single infernos might be the difficulty. Hog Riders coming forward to the scattershot. Inside the heal, they are just getting through this. They will get to the scattershot, take it down and help the Royal Champion, but now the Queen is locked onto by the single target Inferno. Although she gets through one of them, we might struggle towards the back end of the base, but we have a minute left. The Royal Champion's ability, the Queen walks to it. Come on, Queen, take it down, take it down, take it down. Yes, she gets it. Dave Won't Rage with a chance uses the Royal Champion's ability. I think we are kicking it off with a 3-star, guys, because the Royal Champion took out the Tesla farm with the Seeking Shield, and now we'll move to the final defense with the King and the Wizards being reinforced into the base. Dave Won't Rage has powered through this with the Yetis and will kick off this friendly war with a 3-star attack in fashion for Golden X as well. And now Qlash are on the back pedal right from the start. The Lalo attack starting by luring the clan castle from the north of the base. We have a northern teaser, the type of base that you might see within Legends League. So if you come up against this, then we might have a prime example here of how to take it down, or who knows, a prime example of how not to take it down. Trying to continually lure the ice golems down to the bottom of the base. You do not want to attack them in the center where your troops will be getting frozen and taken out. Oh, we're missing half of the attack at the top. I do apologize, guys, but the ice golems pulled out of the way and the King and Queen powered straight into the top. My assumption was that we would have started at the bottom with a Queen charge once the ice golems were drawn to the bottom. Difficult to know why they were drawn there and wasted a lot of time, but the 1st star is secured, and whenever you are attacking in a single attack format as with this friendly war, then you've got to secure the town hall. The Queen unfortunately goes down, and now we have the Lalo spreading around the base. Not really going to be affected by the air sweepers. Queen is down. Look at the freeze spell right on top of both scatter shots with the haste to get the balloons on top, and that means both scatter shots are down here, which is a major threat for Town Hall 13. It actually looks pretty good. The Eagle Artillery falls, Wizard Towers tanked, and wow, this base is fast going down. The balloons go away from the Wizard Tower, still distracted. We have 3 coming over to the back end of it. It might go down. It is purely a matter of time. Only 1 minute left. All of the defenses gone. How quickly did that base go down? But with very little cleanup troops, it's all left to the balloons, which are clumped together. If only some of them were saved, we could have had so much damage around the base. But this is a huge amount of percentage. Despite taking the defenses, he's only at 70%, not even. So with 26 seconds, although it's an incredible attack, it might not help out in a single attack format where the percentage matters. Super unfortunate. You've got to have the cleanup. Even holding on to a balloon or two would have got this one done. Heartbreak for Qlash, taking out the defenses in a ground meta with the lava loon. Hats off to them, but it finishes up with 81% 2-star. But we have Qlash straight back in, this time with the ground-based attack. If they are to get a 3-star here, then it would move them into a good position, because 81% is a pretty good attack. Does get the Town Hall activated. Valkyrie and Yetis will take that down, and the Yeti Mites will bounce forward. Oh, they missed the Expo. That could have been huge, because if a Queen charge comes in, as it does, then we could have been able to charge the Queen a little bit easier. However, the Grand Warden will start from the bottom. This could be difficult. We've got 3 Ice Golems for the Grand Warden, who might take a little bit of time. Earthquakes in the center. That is pretty good, guys, because as long as we can get access to the second scatter shot over to the left-hand side, then the Yetis will power straight through the middle. The Baby Dragon very cheaply creates the funnel to 6 o'clock, and now we have a straight path for the Yetis into the base. Perhaps the Royal Champion is the desired target of the second scattershot. Let's see what Qlash have to offer. King on the outside, very nicely done in order to power down the right hand side. We also have the defending king, and that means that he will go down as well. Very nicely by the enemy king, but not quite luring it yet. That's not ideal that the Barbarian King went after the Defending King, because the right-hand side of the base needs to be funneled for the Yetis to move forward. What is coming to the left-hand side scattershot? Grand Warden's ability as all the troops split off. The scattershot struggling with these troops, and it will go down in a flash. The Queen reaches across. What a beast! The Queen takes it down, and a lot of Yetis spread around the base, but the single target Inferno could be an issue to the left-hand side. The Queen takes down the first one. Oh, with a glimmer of health. Look at her health. Managing to save onto the ability. How important could that be, especially with a second single target Inferno luring? However, the defending Royal Champion standing tall, taking down the attacking Royal Champion, and it looks ever more likely like a defense for Golden X. Dave won't rage, starting out with the 3-star, and now able to defend as well. Pops the Queen's ability. Once the recognition is there that the 3-star is not on the board, you need to get the highest percentage possible, and Qlash already 2 attacks in without the 3-star. Golden X just 1 attack, and they have the 3-star. So the Queen tries to get that percentage, but again, it's in the 80s, so it is not exactly what they needed. We have Eric, the leader of Golden X, with the opportunity to put them in a wonderful position to win this war. They already have the opening 3-star. Qlash struggling, but we have seen some tremendous comebacks this year. Clans taking 1 stars to begin with and crawling back despite only 5 attacks and being behind by 2 or 3. It has happened. It will happen again. Will it be in this war? But Eric pulls his Grand Warden back on track with the deployment of Yetis and Bowlers, uses the Grand Warden's ability early to help get the Wall Wrecker through this compartment because the single was on target with it. Single and target Inferno will go down, as does the first scatter shot, and in comes the heal. Let's hope majority of the troops take that in order to get access to the second scatter shot, and it doesn't do too much damage, but they do not. They're starting to go the other way here. He has to get the second scatter shot, so rages onto a small amount of troops. The Yeti might get taken out. Oh, that is so unfortunate. The town hall is standing. Eric has to get the royal champion in to take that out. Otherwise, the bats will go down quickly. Royal champion will come in once he knows direct target to the town hall is available. Any moment now, it will be deployed. He's got to keep the scatter shot occupied. Pretty good that it is occupied onto the ground-based troops so that the bats can come through. Can Eric rescue this? Come on, get the single target Inferno. Yes! Just about gets it. Do not tell me Eric is going to get this attack done. He might. Despite looking like it was going to be a 1-star, Eric uses the Royal Champion's ability to get through this. Defending Royal Champion on point. Town Hall falls. 2 stars secured. Unfortunately, the freeze spell was not used for the bats. Just missed the cannon. What is still alive? 50 seconds. And it's all about percentage. I think he will run out of time. Super unfortunate. Very customized attack with the bats. If you guys thought that bats were not appropriate now in the game, well, think again. Eric very nearly got this one done. Very close. And if it had have gone a different way, it could have happened. The Yetis and Bowlers not taking the jump spell and moving down to the south just meant that he didn't have momentum through the base. However, think of it this way. Golden X with a 3-star. It's not like they haven't got the 2-star. And not only have they not got the 2-star, they've got a higher percentage than what Qlash had, so they are well ahead on percentage. In theory, 2 stars required from the clan Qlash. Now it is Golden X's turn to go ahead in this war in terms of attacks. Can they get the 3 stars? Because then they move into the latter half after this attack. They will only have 2 attacks left, whereas Qlash will have 3 attacks left. So still anything possible at this stage. Interesting to use an earthquake right out of the gates. And look at the precision. I want to demonstrate this to you. Opens up the wall next to the town hall, but does not activate the town hall. Very precise placement. That is a showcase of a top player. Does not want to damage the town hall and activate it, because otherwise it would be shredding his troops as he moved through the center of the base. But granted, you will then not get the added bonus of the earthquake on the town hall. It should go down pretty easy though, because he has a mountain of troops moving through the base here. Yetis, Bowlers moving through, but things have split up a little bit for him. The scatter shot has done a lot of damage. He's got very few troops left over. Cruz Kid trying to get into that town hall, but the 2 scatter shots have wiped out his Yetis. Is it going to be a 1-star from Golden X? It is going to be close. Has to pray that the Queen will get there with a single target Inferno locked on. I'm not sure that she will. Takes the single target, takes the scatter shot, and down she goes. The 3-star lead is history. Golden X risked it all. They came from the opposite side of the base, and it did not pay off for them. frightening stuff as the 1-star just about on course. We will get it. It will keep Golden X in the lead in terms of stars. No, it won't. They will be equal. I was thinking percentage would be better, but it won't. This one will cost them hugely and open it up for Qlash to take the lead so long as they keep a good percentage. Sometimes when you take the risks, you have to be prepared to fail, and unfortunately for Cruz, this one didn't go his way. In order to achieve greatness, you've got to put your neck on the line, and I applaud anyone that does that, but unfortunately nothing went right for him. Gets the star, gets the 64%, but a nightmare for Golden X. Now, in terms of percentage, Golden X with 51. If Qlash were to get a 3-star, that is 20% in real terms, it would move them to 53. So 2 times 5 means that 10% of a base is what would equal this war. So if Qlash were to get a 90% 2-star, it would equal things up. Thanks to the first 2 attacks of Golden X, they will remain in the lead, but King Ethan could change that. 90% 2-star would tie the war exactly. This is where team play really comes in. Despite having a down moment, one of them attacks that just does not go your way, you can still get it done as a team of 5. That is where 5 players really works well. So despite the 1-star, Golden X still in the driving seat, given that Qlash's first 2 attacks were less than the 90% 2-star. But could be this the one that changes it? Could this be the one that changes it? Funnel set. Yetis and bowlers moving into the Town Hall. Look at the extra damage the baby dragon got there. Fantastic stuff. Town Hall goes down. The Grand Warden's ability was used pretty early there, used to defend against the Town Hall, but I'm not sure how much damage the troops would have taken. However, if he gets the 2 scatter shots quickly, then it could be the savior. One of them clinging on here and doing major damage onto the troops. If only it went down, this could have been a totally different attack. But unfortunately for Qlash, no direct access to the scatter shots. And just like what happened with Golden X, the scatter shots wiped out the Yetis in the center of the base, and unfortunately it was not meant to be. It is all about the percentage. How close to 90% can they get? Defenses cleared to the left hand side of the base. That will allow minions and wizards to clean up some buildings. The queen pops her ability, then goes for a wall. She will go down here. 78%. It is going to be close. 79, maybe 81, 83-ish percent is what this one will be. Actually, it's going to be even more, which means that the war is going to be even closer than we thought. If this Yeti were to take out the single, it would allow the wizard to get an extra couple of percentage. There it goes. 85. One archer will be 86, 87. Remember, a 90% 2-star would tie the war on stars and percentage. This is crazy. Golden X are going to be in the lead by 1% of a base. 1 real term percentage, which across the course of the war is 0.2% overall destruction. That is what Golden X will be in the lead with 2 attacks left. If you guys wanted an intense war, real esports, then this is it. Unless the archer does not get the Dark Elixir drill, which it will not. So 2% of a real term base, which is 0.4%, is all that is in this. 6 stars apiece. 50.6% total destruction for Qlash, 51% for Golden X. What an incredible 13 minutes we have in show. Big Chris with the hybrid attack. It is super close. You've just seen it. The percentage, how close this war is. Anyone's game at this point. The battle blimp caught in the tornado trap. What a troll move from Qlash, and that will mean that Golden X struggle to get into the scattershot and single target inferno. How does that scupper Big Chris's plans? I think it will scupper them very much because the scattershot is active. The single target could get onto the queen depending on where she goes, and definitely for the Yetis moving through, this is going to be a lot more difficult. Perhaps the royal champion could come into that area in order to tank, in order to adjust, but Big Chris needs to do a lot of adjusting here. Lures the clan castle and will take them out of the way of the single target inferno, fortunately, but the queen steps in. Single target onto the queen, and the freeze is required. Does indeed take down the scattershot. Queen needs to move, get out of range. Oh, she's still in range. Oh, what a nightmare for Big Chris. Uses the rage to get through the town hall and move on away. The queen goes for the wall. Oh, devastating stuff. And that will be the end of her because we've got nothing left. No, she survives it. With the ability and the hog riders on the single, it does survive. End to end stuff. Chris doing what he needs to do. Might want to pop the king's ability to keep the miners and hogs on the inside of the base. There it goes. Miners and hogs moving through. They've only got one more scattershot. Grand Warden's ability will get them through. Amazing adaptations here by Big Chris, and I think that this is looking extremely good. Moving to the end of the base. Hog riders and miners split. Royal champion with the healers. Single needs to go down, and other than that, Big Chris might be taking home the 3-star and moving Golden X into the lead yet again. I think it is looking good for them as the royal champion continues to take down defenses. Does Chris have enough time now? Miners moving around the base. We've got the royal champion wiping things out in terms of defenses. 40 seconds for 15%. Are you kidding me? Big Chris having to divert off the plan left, right and centre, using the freezers on the single inferno, doing what you needed to do, but ultimately as a top player of the game you need to be able to adapt, and Big Chris has done that to the top level in this attack, getting the 3 stars, and now Qlash, who have brought themselves back after the first attack, well, they've got to do it again. So we have Sammy of Qlash out of the 3-star from Golden X. Qlash need to get a 3-star to keep themselves in this. I know this is a friendly war, but I am so glad that I reached out in terms of covering this, and so happy that both clans were honourable enough to let us stream it, because despite being a friendly war, this has been one of the most epic matchups that I have seen in a long time, despite all of the external community leagues, and there's a ton of them where everyone does a fantastic job bringing us the Clash of Clans action. But I'm so glad we've been able to bring this one. The excitement, how close it is phenomenal. Sammy starting with the Grand Warden walk and is able to create a funnel very nicely here, trying to side swipe the town hall as best as possible. Whenever you can do that, it is always very appropriate, because you don't then have to deal with the Giga Bomb. The Barbarian King has to press that ability. That was close. You don't always want to rely on the automatic abilities when you are attacking the defending heroes, because they might get a swipe and take you down before you know it. Yetis and Bowlers move into the center. Very nicely timed Grand Warden's ability as the troops were taking the damage from the Eagle and the Scattershot. We've got the blimp, didn't quite get to the town hall. Is there a rage spell getting committed there? There is not. Hoping the Yeti mites get to it, which they do. The rage has to be used in the center, and it does. Yet he's charging forward. They've got to get the scatter shot. If they get this, then Qlash right back in this, and we move to a nail biter for the final part of the war. Queen has the ability for the single. Press it. Oh, nope, he saved it. Royal Champion's ability. It looks good. It looks good. We have Qlash and Sammy moving in for the 3 stars, which means moving to the final 2 attacks. There is still just 0.4% in this war, which in real terms per base is 2%. How insane is that? The final attacks will be determined by 2 percentage points. Massive respect to both of these clans. I will have their information, if you're watching on YouTube, in the description. They deserve that. That is the least I can do. Top level play. And Qlash get the 3-star even more convincingly than Golden X just did. What an intense matchup. Who is going to take it? Be sure to leave a like if you're enjoying this as well, guys. My heart is racing for the final attacks. 2 minutes remain. 0.4 of a base is what separates these teams. 0.4 total destruction. That is 2 builder huts. 2 percentage separates Golden X and Qlash. Who will win? We have Crunch Gaming attacking for Golden X. Now, we won't be able to see both attacks at the same time. As you can see, Qlash are attacking in the background. Let's stick with Golden X for the moment, see how it is looking, and we will jump across to the attack by Qlash momentarily once we know what is happening with this one. Oh, the freeze is accidentally dropped. How costly will that be? The Queen has got to get the scatter shot, and she doesn't. It survives by 0.1 of a percentage. How costly will the dropped freeze be? Queen is relatively safe here, and she will be able to get into the scatter shots once the Ice Golem and Witch go down. But Crunch is taking a little bit more damage and could have definitely used the freeze. With both scatter shot down and the Eagle, it does look good for the hybrid style attack. As the Hogs and Miners move through, we've got the Siege Barracks to the right hand side. Wow. Excuse me, guys. We have Hogs and Miners moving through to the Town Hall area. It's looking good for Crunch. Despite swagging the freeze spell, the Hogs and Miners, under the Grand Warden's ability, don't tell me they're going to go around the Town Hall. Something go to the Town Hall. Miners are on top of it. We should be cleared now. We've got Hog Riders coming out of the Clan Castle. I wonder how Qlash are doing, but this attack is so intense. We can't really move it away from it. Town Hall goes down. Hog Riders struggling, and with the Queen having to battle a single, it looks like probably around about mid 80%. Let's move across to Qlash, who have the 73 Queen's ability. I think they are going to take this one, but the scatter shot wiping out Miners. How quickly can they get that down? Miners gone. Royal Champion moving through with the ability. 82. Oh my word. It is really coming down to percentage. With the Wizards, he could get the Clan Castle. Nearly 90% here, plus 90% for Qlash. The attack by Crunch has got to be done, so we will know the percentage momentarily. With 40%, the Queen's still going. This one is looking in Qlash's favour unless Crunch had a miracle towards the end. It was looking good, but I was going to predict 85% 2-star for Crunch, which means the 93% is more than likely enough for Qlash to get this one done. The Expo in range. How crucial will that be? Nope, the Wizard and Archer out of range, but more than likely will time fail. 92%. I mean, time fails on the 3-star guaranteed, but in terms of that extra percentage, how close will that be? Qlash with the 92%. Do they get it? place in it, but flipped to the other side. So Golden X were 2% in the lead in real term, and then for the final attack, they were 4% behind, so Qlash went and took it. 11-11, 89% gets them the victory. What a war.